Welcome to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki C., and this is brought to you by BALM Global and the Connected Leaders Academy. I am super excited to have our guest today. I had the absolute pleasure. I'm in, was it Virginia? Yes, I believe it was Virginia back in December and seeing him hit the stage. And that is Adam McChesney. He is a serial entrepreneur based in St. Louis, Missouri, originally a medical device sales rep. He transitioned into entrepreneurship full-time in the midst of the pandemic in July of 2020. Leaving a comfortable and secure job during uncertain times has brought a lot of challenges along the way. Boy, can I relate. Adam went from making $200,000 plus a year working for a well-known CPAP manufacturer to take a chance and bet on himself. Again, another thing I can relate to. He was tired of going through the motions and always knew that there was something more to life other than just money and nice things. Having entrepreneurial bug, an opportunity to go into digital marketing full-time seemed like the right move. Since on his journey is going out on his journey, Adam has leveraged his skill set of digital marketing to grow multiple companies at this point. He is the owner partner of Hite Digital St. Louis and owner of Auto Glass Repair of Seattle. I hope that's right. Hite Digital St. Louis is now a 7-figure digital marketing agency, a member of the Inc. 5000 at number 868, and was awarded Future 50 St. Louis, an award that's given to the fastest growing companies in the city. Obstacles along the way have included overcoming criticism and doubt from many for leaving corporate America and making the transition from sales rep to CEO. Without further ado, my friend up, Adam, how are you?
I'm good, Nikki. How are you?
Great. Wow, that was a lot. And I can relate to most of it, just coming from corporate America and hitting a glass ceiling and saying, you know what, if not now, when? And during the most difficult, uncertain time of our lives when we were slapped with COVID. But we'll get into that. Let us know who you are, where you're from, as far as what your upbringing was, and how you build this leadership mindset.
Absolutely. So I'm based in St. Louis, Missouri, born and raised. I live about 5 minutes from where I grew up. Married to my wonderful wife, Delaney. Been married for about 3.5 years, and she grew up very close to where we live at now. As far as my upbringing, as I mentioned, born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri, pretty much lived here my whole life outside of college and had a very good upbringing. My dad was an entrepreneur. My mom was a teacher and then was a stay-at-home mom, and now she's a teacher again. And so I had, a lot of, not necessarily privilege, but I had a lot of resources in order to be successful. And so along the way, I went to good schools. I graduated college with, decent grades, but I was always wanting to kind of do more. So I played college soccer. In addition to playing college soccer, I also worked multiple jobs, did multiple internships, and I was always trying to kind of get ahead of the curve for where I was at in life. And then that translated into full-time. After I graduated, I got into medical device sales back in 2016. So I did that for almost 5 years, most notably at a company called ResMed. So ResMed sells and is the number one manufacturer of CPAP equipment in the entire world. And I managed about a $25 million a year sales territory here in Missouri, and ultimately thought I was going to be there for the rest of my life. And it was a great company. Literally couldn't have asked for a better setup there. But I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just never literally knew really anything about entrepreneurship, even though I was surrounded by it. And I didn't know what type of business. Like, I didn't know the first thing about how to become my own boss or start a company. And so I kind of eased my way in for about 2 years on the side, doing digital marketing on a freelance opportunity. And then with the pandemic, I just decided to go all in. And I went from traveling all over the state of Missouri to being cooped up in my home. So I just had the time and energy to put into doing that. And things really took off, and kind of the rest is history from there. I took a chance on myself, and there's a ton of ups and downs obviously along the way. I've went from being a solopreneur to now 8 full-time team members with resources up to 200 team members with our franchise model at Hite. And I've experienced a lot of ups and downs, as I mentioned, but I wouldn't change it. The alternative is going back to corporate America. I look at it as my best day in corporate America would be on the worst day in running your own business, because of all the things that come with entrepreneurship. Even though there's struggles, even though there's hardships, you have to take everything with a grain of salt and look at the positive side of things. And that's what I try to do most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I too thought they were going to have to drag me out of that company that I was with for almost 15 years. I just thought I was never going to leave. I love what I did. I love who I worked with. And I built basically my own processes, and was able to, corporate train as well, which, I onboarded new hires and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm not leaving. But then you get to a point where you're like, okay, what else is out there? And I love that you said that in your bio, because sometimes we don't know if we don't explore, right? So when you were looking during your, moment of, thought and really thinking about that, what things did you explore before you decided to jump all in?
So the funny thing is I didn't do a whole lot. And so maybe that's my naiveness, because who knows, if I would have actually known what was on the other side and done more research, maybe I wouldn't have made the jump. And I think sometimes that is a positive, that I look at it that way, at least, but I know it can also be a negative, and it's also burned me at times. I think for me, I was at a point in my life, having just getting married less than a year before. We had just kind of bought our dream home, and I'm kind of the guy that sometimes just needs my back up against the wall in order to see if I can survive. And I've survived every single punch that's been thrown at me. So I know that I can do it. And ultimately, I just decided that we were at a point that if I was going to try to make this happen, we don't have any kids still right now, that this was going to be the time. And if I didn't take that chance, I would have probably always regretted it. And so I did enough research, I guess you could say. I kind of weighed the pros and cons. I kind of gave myself in my mind 6 months, like, you're going to give yourself 6 months. And if you see that you have an actual business and things are taking off, then continue doing it. If not, I could always go back and find a job. And so obviously, about 2.5 years removed from that, I made it work.
I love that. What a great perspective to actually see it in a way, because I'm going to be honest, in 2015, I became I love houses, and I love showing houses and selling them. I thought I would be a great realtor, and going into the space, doing it for a little bit. But because I did it part-time, I didn't really have time to market myself or really kind of get my feet wet in that space, because I worked overtime. I worked 60 to 80 hours a week, and all their training programs were during the day. But when I went through my first few transactions, I found out really quick that I don't like the paperwork or the time constraints with being a realtor, because that's someone's home, that's someone's money. That's okay, no, I can't do this. So I feel like the awareness of yourself, I became a connector. So I downgraded to a referral agent. I'll receive the passive income that way. I have a great Rolodex of realtors, possibly in at least 10 or 15 states. So why not, do it that way? So in doing that, I started researching a lot of home-based businesses. What am I going to do? And I think that really, from your perspective, that really held me back for a long time. Mm-hmm. But then again, the year of clarity, the year of perfect vision, which was 2020, as sad as it was, we only had a few choices. We either sat back and complained. We either sat back and waited till something happened, this is going to go away, or we made a decision, and you decided to make that decision. And kudos to you. That's super awesome. What were just some challenges that you did find yourself facing as you were building? And how did you overcome those challenges? And was a support team something that you had available to you, or did you create it?
So there was two main challenges. Is one, being a sales rep, I really only focused on the sales side of things. And so in corporate America, especially in a sales role, like, you have numbers to hit. And if you have numbers to hit, then you hit your quotas and you get paid, and then you get bonuses and things like that. But sales doesn't equate to profitability in business. And so I was really focused on, and there have been a variety of times where I've been focused on that top line revenue, not understanding that it's not profitable revenue. So I was very, very focused down that path. And then secondarily, I didn't really have a business for about the first 9 months. I had just created another job for myself. So I was selling a bunch and I was fulfilling all the work myself. But with the more I sold, the more problems that I had in my business, because I didn't have processes and systems in place. I didn't have a team around me. I didn't have core values. I didn't have all the things that are very elementary when you're getting started out in business. And as far as support systems go, most of my friends that I had been hanging out with and been very involved with during that time kind of went by the wayside, because I didn't understand, and even some family to agree, didn't understand the choice that I was making and why I made it. So what I did is I started to join mastermind groups. So literally a month into entrepreneurship, I joined my first mastermind. And that really set me on the path of where I'm at today, with self-development and networking and just being around like-minded people like yourself, like all the people that we met in CLA and BLN, because that is the network and the support system that understands what we're going through. And I was trying to convert people around me to understand what I was going through. And you can't change people, or you can't change mindsets. You can push them down the right direction, but ultimately it's their decision to make, that they understand what you're going through, or if they go through a similar journey. So those are two big lessons that I kind of learned along the way. Is, again, sales isn't revenue, or sales isn't profit at the end of the month. And also, investing in yourself, joining masterminds, getting around people who understand what you're going through.
That's awesome. And I'm glad that you bring that up. And that really led my question to what your response was going to be, because it's very important to get yourself, especially when you don't know, just know that you don't have to do it by yourself. There's always people out there ready and willing to provide the tools. You just have to be ready to be coachable, teachable, and receive and absorb the information so you can take action on exactly what your destination is. What does that look like for you, and how do you get there? And the best way to get there is with mentors and coaches. How big of an advocate are you for events, for trainings, for well, you already talked about masterminds, and how many coaches do you have, or have you been through throughout your journey?
So right now I have a business coach, and then I have a life and mindset coach. So I think those two things together really kind of help form where I'm at, in addition to having multiple mentors, multiple people that I talk to on a given week to kind of help guide me with decisions a little bit outside of what I'm working with those two coaches. I think I'm in 5 different masterminds that I'm active in, that I have a membership in right now. It's been as many as 10, and it's been as low as 1. And so I think there's a solid mix, and that mix is going to be different for everybody based on their availability and kind of where they're at in business and how many team members that they have. But I think the biggest thing is just getting very intentional about what you want, and then having intention with every single mastermind, every single coach that you're working with. I think a lot of people think all of this stuff, quantity equals output, right? So I'm going to join 10 mastermind groups. I'm going to have 5 different business coaches, and all of a sudden everything is going to fall into place. I'm going to make the money I want to. I'm going to live the lifestyle I want to. My relationships, all that stuff are just going to be amazing. And it's not about that. It's about intention. It's about making sure that you are providing yourself with the right tools and resources in order to reach where you're trying to go.
Yeah, that's awesome. I too am in most of the communities that you're with. I have many. I even have my own where I am, helping women entrepreneurs really get that voice and demand their presence in the marketplace as well. And that's just a movement all in itself. And it's only because I made that one decision to go to my first event to speak at my first speaker competition where I gain, the community. And sometimes it is outside of your family and your friends and your usual circle because, it's okay that you guys are not on the same page. And sometimes they'll jump on the bandwagon and sometimes they won't. You can love them from afar. You don't have to how do you say it? You don't have to disconnect from them 100%, but you definitely have to focus on yourself 100% so that you
Mm-hmm.
can get the lifestyle that you deserve, you want, you dream. And it comes abundantly when you invest in yourself and when you take that action. It just happens.
Mm-hmm.
Once you change and you shift that mindset and you start getting in those rooms and meeting people like Adam and every guest that I've had, they have all been crucial to my growth because I've heard them speak. I take notes at every event. I make sure I'm in the front row. And in those mastermind classes, you have the opportunity to really see that other people are going through the same struggle you're going through. Again, you're
Mm-hmm.
not alone. There's ups and downs. It's not perfect. It's not easy, but the process is the best thing to go through. I gratifying even through the good and the bad time. So thank you, Adam, for that. We're going to quick break and hear from our sponsor, and we're going to come back and we're going to see how you can connect with Adam and what he has going on as well. So give me one moment. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world, globally, all across the country, high performers, titans of industry. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, this is where you want to be. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. We are scaling massively. We want to welcome you in. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JASCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
Welcome back, everyone. That was Jose Escobar. Definitely connect with him. Both Adam and I are part of the Connected Leaders Academy. I've been on with them almost a full year in May. And again, my life has changed since then. And adding BLN with JR Spears, AMO with Emilio, who actually really started this journey for me. So thank you again for joining us, Adam, and telling your story and how you became this amazing entrepreneur doing amazing things. So what's going on right now in your world?
Yeah, so right now we're continuing to grow and scale the digital marketing company. Don't ever think I'll be out of the marketing agency business, at least for the foreseeable future. But now it's much bigger than just myself. So have multiple team members that handle the day-to-day there. So I'm focused on a couple other really big personal branding types of projects. So speaking on quite a few stages this year, as well as opening up a more consulting and outsourced chief marketing officer side to what we're doing for companies that involve some of my more time and energy. So I'm really excited to continue doing those things, have some amazing events coming up that I'll be speaking at, and just some really cool opportunities that are presenting itself. So excited to continue moving forward in that direction.
Yeah, that's so cool. I have been, following you. Your inspiration that you give out every day, it's amazing. I'm just seeing it, just kind of really seeing where your mindset is at. And it's all about growth. It's all taking that step on yourself and really going for it 100%, because again, we deserve to live abundantly in this world. We're given gifts, we're given talents, and we need to put them to use. And again, they're not for us. How do you feel about your story and everything you're doing? How do you well, you can't confirm anything, but how do you really get them out of their heads and really let them know how they take action?
So I think I reverse engineer essentially pretty much everything that I do. And I put out content that obviously I want potential clients to see, or people that are trying to better themselves. And I think about back, like, what if I were in their shoes, whether they will do business with me or not, they're just a part of my network. What would I have wanted to hear? What content would I have wanted to consume? And what would have helped me further my journey and get to where I'm at quicker? And so that's where I start with a lot of my content. And then I reverse engineer it and start to, take action on that content and helping with the idea of helping people, again, get the information that it took me a lot longer to get. So hopefully they can, facilitate getting to where they want to go at a quicker rate.
Awesome. And can you just specifically tell us, Sage, what exactly do you do and how do you help people create income in the?
Yeah, absolutely. So at Hite Digital, we are a full service digital marketing agency. We do everything from logo and branding to website design, search engine optimization, and then paid advertising on Google, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Most of our clients are local service-based businesses, so contractors or professional service type companies like lawyers, dentists, chiropractors, etc. Essentially, if you are looking to get at a higher position on Google and generate more leads and quality leads from Google specifically, that's where we're going to be able to help.
Awesome. Awesome. And what has been your most successful story since you started your business?
I would say for us, it's definitely been on the growth side. So we grew our digital marketing agency from 0 to 7 figures in the first 15 months. Essentially unheard of in the digital marketing agency. And a lot of that came from the work I put in on my personal brand. So it was very fruitful and fulfilling to see all the content that I've put out, all the work that I've put in come back and pay off tenfold by helping us grow very early on and get us in a position to where we're at today.
Awesome. So congratulations on hitting 868 on the Inc. 5000, and you're also awarded Future 50 in St. Louis. Are you hitting any targets? So you're all about numbers. You're all about hitting those targets. Are you well on your way for that?
Yeah, so our goal this year is 2.5 million in terms of revenue. We did about 1.7 last year. Definitely on the right path in order to accomplish those things. So got our checks and balances, and we're heading in the right direction.
That's awesome. Just going back to the first award, how did you feel at that point? What came across you, your team? Just, were you even know about, people actually really looking at you from the back end and, acknowledging your growth and, everything you have done?
I think it represented a lot of hard work, sweat, and tears, I think is the best way to paraphrase that. We were actually in Costa Rica at an event for a company that our parent company owns. So we were all together when the announcement happened, which was really cool. And so we got to see kind of everything compiled together and just see everybody's reactions and celebrate and all of those amazing things. But it has absolutely been a total team effort. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of entrepreneurs in the early going tend not necessarily to always think about. Because in the beginning, most of the time, unless you have a partner or a sweat equity partner, or just you get really lucky and have somebody that sees your vision early on, you're doing it on your own for the most part. You're wearing all the different hats. And in order to scale, in order to make a bigger impact, and in order to turn it from a job into a business, you have to have a team. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned over the last couple of years. You can't do this alone. Can't do it alone. You have to have the right people on the bus and the right seats, and they have to understand the vision that you have for the company and where they fit into it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great, great point because, starting as an entrepreneur and, knowing that I wear all the hats, I just actually hired. We had our first meeting. That was just super exciting to know that I'm going to will be able to grow in their and possibly get them to where I am, because that's what it's all about. It's all about growth. It's all about, building that unity and really getting your message across quicker and just doing that in a way everyone wins, right? And entrepreneurs, they always want of the profits, and you can go nowhere really, really fast that way with that mindset. I heard getting an offer, and the person gonna invest in them, they wanted 30%, which was very cool. They're using their content, they're using their stuff. To me, why wouldn't I'll settle for 70%. They're providing me all the tools that I need to provide to my clients, and they just did not take the deal. It was just mind-blowing to me. And people really have that mindset, and it's just probably how we've grown up, or we're just uneducated about business works. So definitely get educated, definitely get a business coach. We're gonna, need to definitely let you know if you're making the right decisions, if it's worth, going all in things. And thank you for just being an amazing guest and dropping some for our audience. Absolutely awesome. Final words you to give our audience and really give mission to succeed, because I feel like that's what you did, and that's what I'm all about. And I love that you have a team and that you're building other leaders, because that's the whole point. It's leaders building other leaders so that they can, grow and serve and do all that good stuff. So yeah, just let us know like any final words of encouragement, and you have the floor.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me on, Nikki. It was a great time. I really appreciate you taking some time out and having me on as a guest. I think the biggest thing that I can leave the audience with is there's never going to be a right time. And it's something that I talk to a lot of different entrepreneurs or potential entrepreneurs about, obviously, in making the jump into entrepreneurship, or to double down on their business, or to hire somebody, or just personally to change your mindset and change your habits in order to reach the levels that you're trying to reach. There is going to be no perfect time to start the diet. There's going to be no perfect time to get back into the gym. There's going to be no perfect time to hire that right employee. And the quicker that you can come to terms with that and be comfortable being uncomfortable, you're already 10 steps ahead of most of the people that are out there, because most people are going to have the analysis by paralysis and not actually take action on what it is they need to do in order to be successful.
Yeah. Quick, simple, and to the point. I love it. Definitely do your due diligence when you are making that decision. Get in the right space with growth-minded people that have already done what you're trying to do, because that is the best way to get started. Don't leave it up to yourself to figure it. It's just time being wasted, and time again, when people see results quickly, they quickly tend to fail, or they quickly tend to quit. And then you're like, okay, well, this is just never gonna work, or I'm not worthy. And that's totally not the truth. The truth is intentional on what, make sure you make it happen for yourself, because you deserve it. Thank you so much for your insight, Adam. You can connect with him on AdamMcChesney.com, or in connect with him on HiteDigital.com. He's also on Facebook. His handles will be placed in the show notes. He's absolutely amazing. I'm so happy you are, doing what you're doing, and you're yourself permission to succeed. Continue leading the way, and I'm going to continue knowing you, and I can't wait till we hit the stage one day together as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Adam. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you all for listening to another episode of Mindset Podcast. Have a great day. And as I say, make it count.